November the 25th, 2022. In this video I am gonna start with, I'm pretty damn certain Christina Misacho, I think is her name, definitely would not want me, even less so her community, mother, father, and so on. Nobody would want me to start. However, I am forced to start this video with Donald Trump. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start one with, if the computer is going to move, if we're going to be lucky that much, we're going to start this with this here. Okay, this is a front page of the Yahoo. You see Donald Trump over there, his lady with a thumbs up. Nobody in Italy wants me to go political. Nobody in the world wants me to go political. This I was told many times from all sides of the world possible. Not doing this and that, but you know what? These are the people that sit in my coffin for 28 years. For me to hammer out those nails on which these people sit, it's necessary to discuss these problems. And from Donald Trump, I'm gonna straight go to list of the Israeli presidents. Not that it would make any difference to me, but Israeli state sit on my coffin for no less than 28 years. These are the people that have used on behalf of Russia a telephone number known as 1-800-London, Buckingham Palace, on God knows just how many fucking occasions, to block me at the United Nations, to cloud me the rights inside of the European Union Court. And I don't think Washington, D.C. mind their London interaction in respect to my life in the United States of America, which they have turned into hell. For me to go straight to the matter, with the Israel, it was always about Russia. It started with the Russia. I did spoke about the war in Balkans, where I grew up, in Slovenia, in an area in which Serbia have had, under disguise of the country so-called Yugoslavia, the federation, the country was known as the so-called Federation of Yugoslav Republic, have launched simultaneously ethnic cleansing war, genocide on 4 nations for the sake of the Greater Serbian Lebanon agenda, something they have očitati in Slovenian language, gesture to Germans, is exactly what the Serbs have done already in 90s to several nations when they were ethnically cleansed Balkans for the sake of their bigger Lebanon, bigger space. Something Russians in fact are doing today in Ukraine. When it comes to Israel, it was always about don't talk bad about Russia. In Israel, it was about the Russian Jew. I'm a Russian Jew. I'm a Russian Jew. In Moscow, it was about, it was about, I don't know. Russian Jew was, Russian Jew would say that was Israel. But whenever I was in Moscow, when they held me inside the psychiatric hospitals, tortured me mercilessly throughout Russia, it was about maybe, maybe, maybe the same thing, or you would say maybe no. In Israel, it was a Jew from Russia, but in Russia, it was a Russian Jew. To put it plain and right, in a very, very proper context. That's what it was about. I don't give a fuck about Adolf Hitler. I don't give a fuck about the Nazism. My problem was what I stated to you earlier. It's the problem you see today in Ukraine. I disagreed with Adolf Hitler. I disagreed with the Nazism. But the problem that was stalking me around was a giant problem. This problem was inseparable from a Jewish question, with literally Jews who arrived from Russia pointing revolvers on my forehead during MK Ultra, and that threatened on more occasions than what I can count inside of the Israeli state. It was impossible to separate the two. It was impossible for me to consider Israeli person as a Jew and the Russian individual as a Russian. These are two things that were totally inseparable, indifferent from one another, at least in my eyes. Maybe, who knows, I don't know. Maybe because the case was so big, maybe because the case involved so many prominent, big, not only political figures, but issues such as security, weaponry, and stuff like this was discussed. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I don't know everything. But I know I lost my temper with it. Because in the first place, I never wanted to be not in the Russia, not in Israel. I didn't want to have any interest, not in Russia and not in Israel. I lost my interest for Russia when I have experienced, listen, you can call this Russian fascism or whatever you want to say it, Stalinism, whatever you want to say, it doesn't matter. But when I realized on my own skin, when I tested on my own skin what Russia was, I know I didn't want to see one anymore. I didn't want to be anywhere near. Now, Israel always was the window to the world for Russia. Always was window to the world for Russia. Wherever the Russians were not allowed, and it was like this in MK Ultra, that due to the violence, due to the degree of violence, the Western politicians kept me, at least certain locations, they did not involve the Russians, Serbs, Slovenes in it, knowing what they were doing with me. They isolated them from certain meetings, from certain locations where they would meet. They did. On some occasions, on some very few locations, however, on behalf of 1-800 London, Buckingham Palace, especially more and more frequently, they would start to appear on more and more locations, talking about the Russians. The Israelis were present everywhere. The Israelis had a universal Western entrance to absolutely all walks of life. All walks of life when it comes to West. They allow them to participate anywhere you want. And such was the case with Ariel Sharon. Such was the case with Benjamin Netanyahu. This was really a specialist. This guy knew his way around. Incredible he was at corrupting people, getting people on board, changing their minds, get things done. He was just a really super tool in the hands of other Israeli president. This guy really didn't like me. And I can't help myself, the two people that I have just mentioned right now. I'm going to zoom myself out like this a little bit. As you see here is Slovenia. And then this here, this is Italy right next to Slovenia. You can see the map right there. You can see it. I can't but to tell you about, since I have seen this, and I know, as I stated, really this should be a video about this girl here, this beautiful girl. She's 26 years old. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I don't think that her mother, which did flirted with me, probably to get my feedback. This all the women did, all the moms, all the daughters did that stuff. They wanted to get, like, profile me, how I see them, and this and that, la la la. This was just on a million occasions, whatever bullshit. I don't think she was a single in 95, okay, but maybe she was single in 95. I really do not know. If, I'm thinking she was single, which I think this girl actually had. This is a girl that died a few days ago, as it was advertised here on Express UK. She plunged to her death over 6 foot, sleeping on ledge. Involved in MK Ultra with her parents since 1995. And when I say with her parents since 1995, I really have a problem here, because I'm not sure whether the man, the tall guy with black glasses, Italian with the black glasses, I think this is what her father was like. You know, let me demonstrate here. Let me find something. He was a handsome man, tall guy, and he had glasses. It more appeared like this guy to me. Okay, and he was quite tall. I am 6, and this guy was probably 6.5 maybe. And I think he was an engineer or something like that. I don't think this guy was actually her brother, but I do think that she does have an older brother. That's where the problem is. If she does have an older brother, then logically that her mom was not single. That's the point I'm trying to make. What this got to do with her? What this got to do with her, and as I stated, with a picture here, that very unlikely should not, according to her mom, according to the entire community, Italy and so on, I shouldn't even have one here. What this got to do with it? A lot. This got a lot to do with it. Precisely, this man had a tactics which totally involved the tactics of the Israelis, of the top Israeli. They were sadistic. In this case, Slovenes, and that's how the Buckingham Palace calmed down. It's not going to be Slovenes, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And Americans, that's how they calm it down. We're going to go there, we're going to go there, oh, we're going to go to the mountains, we're going to go hiking and this and that. 95 hijacked from Miami. I didn't want to be anywhere fucking hijacked. This was not in my interest. But this is they push personal life being hijacked and tortured under MK Ultra. What the fuck? This is your fucking life, man. They crumble your life to nothing, literally. And advertise you on through the violence, how you don't have to worry about it's not going to be Russians and Slovenes and Serbs present. Great, so I'm not going to get to see Milan Kucan, and especially not Slovenian journalist. Actually, he was a politician, but he completed the school for the journalist. He still is Slovenian president, Borut Pahor. This guy was so violent that you couldn't match his violence, maybe even in Serbia. Well, actually, yeah, you could. And so I was thrilled that I'm not going to be tortured in Slovenia and Russia. The location where the politicians, Americans, gathered with a Western team, which also comprised of Israelis. As I stated, the Israelis were fully all over the place. Was either in Treviso. You see this here? This was actually the most frequent place. Treviso. Treviso or Vicenza. It was Treviso or Vicenza. Other politicians, some American politicians, Milan, but mainly it was Treviso, it was Vicenza, and then Americans started to discover Lago de Garda. So they would travel from Lago de Garda all the way to this terrain here that you see where she plunged to her death. With a friend that is on the picture was already her friend long time ago. And I'm not going to go into any details about any of that stuff. It was a little bit out of the way to come from Lago de Garda or Milano. Most of the politicians, because this was repeated stuff. It started in 1995, as early as almost MK Ultra. And they would have me walk all the way to these mountains. Treviso, Vicenza. There's like a little video here they have posted. They have posted like a little video, and I'm going to post this video right below this video here, so that it describes basically, it gives certain things that Italians demonstrated me that's going to remind me about MK Ultra and this and that. And so I really apologize to Italians that my video is of political nature, but I cannot go from 1995 when this girl was nowhere in the picture. She's 26 years old. She's 26. And I was climbing these mountains already in 1995 with Israelis too. And this was the fucking hell to go, that I didn't want to be anywhere near them. And I let Americans know, I let everybody know that I don't want to be near them. But Americans made decision for the Israelis. London did, others did. Whatever was the best in my interest. And what was the best in my interest was before Belluno, before the city Belluno, you're going to see Belluno. Israelis were all fucking crazy, man. They were all, as we would walk toward this here, Vizome, this was the route here. You see, Refos, Vizome, and so on. I told you about how the Israel jump-started the violence against me in the United States of America. Now it's time to explain to you how Israel started the war against me in Europe, on the European continent. And this is a beautiful, beautiful example I'm going to use. Already before the Belluno, probably Vizome is where the violence always started. This here, Vizome, Refos Vizome, this is what you would have guys waiting on the side of the road, and then you would have these Israeli politicians. They would be bitching me all along about the issues I have spoken to you about. And then you would have what they say in the Russian language, they say hitrets. Hitrets, that's like a smart person, like this guy, that would just pull some shekels out and would buy the Italian violence, basically. What he would do is, he would give them phone numbers too. They would exchange, not exchange, but he would give them phone numbers. They would make a contacts. So he guided, literally, they guided, Israel literally guided, even if they were not present. Do you now understand where the cash is coming from? Who paid for the cash? Where the cash? Where the cash? Where the cash for the violence? Who? How? That's how Russians got job done. This is nothing against the Israelis. This is nothing against the Russians. But I'm not going to be silent in respect to ways. They had no right to hijacking. It's a terrorism. This is a terrorism. You cannot go and hijack Slovenian citizen, European Union citizen. You cannot go and hijack American citizen. Engage in violence against one, death threats and stuff like this. You cannot go and do the stuff like this. You had no fucking grounds for the stuff like this. You had no reason to do stuff like this. You cannot go and do stuff like this and then claim anti-Semitism and stuff like this. You cannot go and do that stuff like that. That's illegal. That's criminal. That's a fascism based on which then you claim discrimination. You cannot go and do the stuff like this. I will not be compliant with that, Israel. You don't fucking know me, eh? You don't know anything about me. And so it went. Before I reached the Belluno, and in Belluno, it was a fucking hell. You know this guy here? Ariel Sharon? And other presidents. It was the same fucking shit like I told you about right here in Slovenia, behind my house. Milan Kučan was doing with me. It was a route to Gorjanci, Trdinov Vrh. This is about 15-20 kilometers from here, whatever it is. Also hills like this, beautiful. All the way up climbing. It is steep hills. It's very, very steep. Very, very physical. Really physical. Yeah, you can't see really the pictures here. But you can trust me. Yeah, that's a good picture right there. All the way up. The order was to burn my brain, to psychologically exhaust me through the beatings, through abuse, through the torture, death threats. It was the same thing in the Italy that started to take place, where Milan Kučan was not present, but it was the Israel. Tel Aviv, TIF, you ruined 28 years of my life. You're gonna fucking see hell for this shit. That's what Ariel Sharon did. That's what Benjamin Netanyahu, that's what the Knesset was doing. The good Jews that liked me, because Israel demanded from me to see good and bad Jews. The Jews, based on their physical, facial characteristics that I liked, well, they did not look like Serbs and Russians, whatever. The good Jews that watched me being beaten up and terrorized by the bad Jews, if you want to say by the ugly Jews. But calm down, let me calm you down. With this facial profiling, violence, terrorism, Russia and Serbia have implemented through Slovenia and me, even the Germans became ugly in my eyes. Don't fucking worry about it, about the word ugly. It was the time when I started to look in facial characteristics of the Russians and Serbs in the Germans. That's how far they pushed. Peter Thiel, German, was the one who was really good in that, and Elon Musk. They started to dress with the Russian, with a funny, like a sailor Russian shit that KGBs wear. and make facial shit around me and stuff. Then there was some Germans, and before you fucking know, I was on their ass. They look as fucking ugly to me as you can fucking look ugly. Everybody was on my menu, except the Germans told me, stop with this. If you're not gonna stop with this, we're gonna think that you're really fucking crazy now. Well, they just stopped this rage of mine by basically saying to me, you know who the fuck is doing this to you, so you better stop with this. And that's basically really how the fuck I stopped. But just so you know, I had Germans on the menu too. Nobody became excused because of this violence. Well, they wanted me to generalize, just as I have explained in previous videos. Serbs that engage in violence against me in Serbia and in Bosnia, in occupied parts of Croatia. Milan Kucan brought in the picture Slovenes with similar facial features and involved them in violence against me. So he started to connect the violence from Serbia with Slovenia. He wanted me to curse life, hate my life. Israelis continued with that legacy, and they started to widen and widen and widen and widen this shit to literally bury me alive. And they sit on my coffin convincing everybody around the world that this would be just the best thing to not hear, not see, not even fucking know about it. This man here that you see here, some of you maybe you won't like that, but I really don't give a fuck. This man was one of the most sadistic people involved in MKUltra. This Donald Trump, you know, the one that incited you in a riot in January the 6th, 2021, Capitol Hill. That's the one that just didn't go about whatever was said. This guy had seemingly a problem with the violence against me. So he would connect himself to me in front of those who tortured and would go, no, it's not so bad. No, the guy's not so bad. And that guy's not so bad. No, then this one is not so bad. No, it's not so bad. He knew. He watched me being beaten up, terrorized, death threatened, and stuff like this. But it was all about, no, it's not so bad. No, it's not so bad. No, it's not. No, it's not. Well, that's how basically he fucked a lot of American people too. This is a merciless killer, this guy. This is like Mitt Romney have stated, this is a ticket to nowhere. This is a suicide. This is a predator that is preying on Americans in distress, people like myself who got themselves into economic troubles due to maybe even political sphere. Whoever that didn't like them, whatever that might be the case, United States profoundly have changed itself. This no longer is a free society. This definitely is no longer society based on a constitution and a Bill of Rights. This is the country that favors instead a political atmosphere and is settling the differences with the use of violence, which also involves things such as MKUltra, long-term unemployment, psychiatry, you name it. And the people that have promised change are the people, this man here particularly stated me well ahead of his presidential campaign that his first term is going about getting rid of radicals. He addresses people as radicals. He doesn't address the problem. He's not out there to help people. He steers the issues with the idea to get rid of the so-called radicals. That's why Donald Trump is a fake, is a folly, is a lie, is your death ticket, is running a second time, a second term, to cause more damage, more harm to the United States of America, not to even mention the reputation one have created for the U.S., for the sake of Vladimir Putin, for the sake of war in Ukraine. Yeah, it is. It's actually really connected to this guy. It angers me when I see him, whenever the hell I see him. I know he did a tremendous harm to me. Seeing this individual going around and causing more havoc, more harm, more damage to the ordinary people, for whom I think that is just unjust. I think is just inappropriate approach that government have taken. I think there is ways more humane through understanding, making people understand about global changes that are causing the environment to change, challenges that we face that government could take, and they just instead of that have chosen a politic which is based on radicalism. This is a politic based on radicalism, and of course such politic will create radicals, like it or not. Think about my case, 28 years of torture under the procedure known as MKUltra. Now that's bad enough. Say something against these guys, and you're a dead bird, you're a dead walking man. That's what they used to call me under MKUltra. As far as the girl here, well, this beautiful babe here, what can I say? Her mom looked different, a little bit different, you know. I mean, a little bit different. Let me show you what her mom looks like. Let's go, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go. Let's say to something like this. I don't actually see anything that I could say relate to mom. As far as the hairstyle, more or less it would be something like this here that you see. But facially, a little bit it would look like this. It would look probably a whole lot more like that, with the hair as the one that I have demonstrated you. It's just Italian lady. She is lean, and she also has, I bet, university degree. This is also educated lady. I don't know what kind of profession is. I would have to walk a little bit back and forth and think, and so that I would pull more information about it, which I'm not going to go and do it. Please forgive me for that. About this girl, I'm going to ask her to forgive me because I have fallen for her, and it made no sense for the old I don't know how you would say. I was just really too old. I see now the girl is 26 years old, 26 years old, and I'm gonna be right now in December, literally 51. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that makes me again feel very uncomfortable in terms of MKUltra dating. This is the most embarrassing stuff you can possibly do to one. Maybe in real circumstances I would go, even for younger, whatever it is, but at MKUltra, I know that I have made the worst impression one possibly can make. This is very embarrassing for me, and I feel very inappropriate about that. And it's the kind of stuff that I dislike so much that I cannot describe the anger in me that I was in situations like this. The girl, this road here, this is just, I think when you go out of Belluno is something like this, and it's also something like this in a way to Belluno. And I already did demonstrated you this stuff here about the road, right? I did that stuff. Let me see. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do it like this. I'm doing this. You know why, folks? I'm doing this stuff. Let me explain to you something why exactly I'm doing this stuff. I'm doing this stuff so I can kick ass here in Slovenia to this UDBA people. That's my job. My job is to destroy them. The way you destroy them is by basically doing exactly this stuff here that you see. You go like this, tick, 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 like that. Then you take a marker like this. So this is what I'm doing right now. This is what's gonna pay for my suffering. You will see, you will face the justice. Maybe you don't like it, but you will. There was some kind of bridge that we would go across, which maybe is this one here. This area here we walked back and forth, God knows how many times. And then this pretty much like this, I suppose this would be like a route like this. Through Belluno, and probably on the other side like this, and let me see that. No, you just gotta go this way, alright? This is basically then, in that case, what you do. You're not supposed to go across to the other side, because there's no way you can return back. You can't go back to this side of the river is what I'm saying. As you see right there, that's a Piava right there. Oh, this is so beautiful, this place here. That's where also they would leave the cars, whatever. But I'm gonna go ahead. What the fuck I'm doing, eh? I'm doing right now something that's gonna give Italian government a chance to confirm my news. That's how you fuck the people like this that do stuff like that. That's how you do it. I don't know. Here I really don't know. I don't know if you get anywhere here or whatever, or you go this way. I don't know. I didn't even take time to take Google Maps streets or something like this to see it, and because it's other stuff. But this stuff here is the Bucha. Zip zip like this. It makes no sense to me to this stuff, because we walked all this stuff. They had me walk here back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. With Cristina Maria, with her, she would not allow me to carry anything. What made her special in my case was not only that she was exceptionally beautiful, but she was very, very kind. She never ever had me carry anything. This is an extremely gentle girl. That would just make sure that that I would just walk, free from any kinds of issues, whatever. With her, it was just like the easiest way to go. In Poland, during Donald Trump's Hunger Games, they had me carry, and I bet she also knew about this. She knew about these things. They all knew about it. Her boyfriend, this 46 years old, this was a very nice man. The thing about it is that in Donald Trump's games in Poland, they would give me a backpack, staff members, MK Ultra staff members, and they would make me carry the backpack for them for many, many, many hours. They could not, people like Jack Dorsey, that kind of people. Twitter guy, poor fucking victim, Poor guys like this. Cry babies, little fucks like this. Billionaires. That's how they use me. That's what the fuck folks, this is what they were doing to me. They couldn't carry the fucking shit with them. And I gladly, always was willing to help. But because of these issues, see this here? This this here, this. Make sure you do this to him. Make sure. He will go 10 fucking hours without every fucking second thinking about how she's gonna fucking cause me pain, suffering, together with other Israelis that were present. You know, this is 1995, 96, 97. This is how it all started, and this is how it all went on. The only thing that changed was they took a different approach because their violence became too evident to everybody. And once they jump-started the world of nothing other than violence, they wanted their traces to disappear, become less visible, and have continued to meet here inside of this room here in Novo Mesto with Russians and continue to sign lucrative agreements. Money, cash. Just as I stated, Israel made more money inside of this room, inside of this house, involving weaponry trade. Yeah, and other trades too. They didn't only have weaponry trade involved. With India, with China. Listen, when it comes to China, everything that China has from the West, everything went to China through the state of the Israel, just so that you know this. Chinese were in Israel, they inspected their military capacities, and they have greatly returned, contributed to Israel. It was super lucrative stuff they did. Impossible to, the best to describe. They made more money inside of this room than they made combined in a history of the Israel with all the industry that they had before this case. That's how much money Israel made inside of this room through my case. I was nothing other than a war slave for Israel. That's what I was. And so yeah, so this I don't know what to tell you. This is incredible place. It's incredibly beautiful place. People struggled with unemployment. It was a lot of unemployment stuff. It was difficult for them. I don't resent Italian people or anything. This I remember, boyfriend was always showing me this stuff they were showing me. I was with these guys, with her and her boyfriend on quite a few occasions. On our way back, this would be it. I hope all the best for the two. I don't believe, I will not believe that the two have actually really. So I don't understand Italian here, and I did not take time to even fully translate this stuff. I am going to do it now. It says here, died yesterday afternoon while she and group of friends were descending from Punta Camadon towards the pass of the same name on the Vetefetrine. The young mountain lover and expert mountaineer was betrayed by the insidious ice that made her slip and fall for about 50 meters. Help is useless. The Comrades raised the alarm at 118, but when the swarm helicopter arrived, there was nothing more they could do for the young woman. The body was recovered this morning. Yesterday it was impossible for the rescuers to attempt any maneuver in the inaccessible area, and now on an infamous island, Maria Xenia was well known in Feltre. She lived with her mother and sister and had an active role in Palio. I have to say that I did not know, I'm not aware that she had a sister. Now I'm confused. I was sure that she actually had a brother. Sister, I don't recall sister. I don't recall the sister. She lived in Borgo Ruga with her mother and sister and have active role in Palio in the Port Oria district. A deep mourning for the whole community, said Mayor Viviana Fusaro in the message sent to the young woman family. I know that mom had a faculty. I know that they live inside of the apartment building. I know it was apartment building, and I know that her mom had a degree. But I had no idea that she had a sister. I thought that, so that probably was father of the engineer that I have spoken, that was a father from. So that's actually a possibility that mom might have tried to even date me in 95, in 96. That's a possibility because it did involve a lot of women. And possibly even later, but it wasn't for me. It was not somehow my type, even though it might have been my type. There was Italian ladies that I have seen involved in MK Ultra that I have refused in MK Ultra, and in the real world I definitely would accept. So that's, I don't even know, man. This is such a fucking mess. This is a mega crime, this whole thing, this MK Ultra. This is a really, really bad stuff that I don't think it was only done to me. I think they emotionally damaged a lot of people. I think they hurt a lot of people. So this is just terrible news. I don't like this kind of news. For me, she's gonna be alive. I don't like to think about that something like this had actually happened to her. This is not good. Okay. 40-year-old friend, Shiro Bez lost his life. I don't like thinking about the stuff like this. This guy was very nice. This Shiro Bez, this was also a very nice guy. A tall guy, very tall guy, strong guy. What is this here? The Sunday news also brought pain to Langorna. In the woods of Igne, 40-year-old Shiro Bez lost his life. This was her friend, 48-year-old. Okay. Down with 3 friends. He was cutting down. Okay. All right. So, tragic death left Hamlet. Yeah. Okay. That's all I'm going to do. This guy, Shiro Bez. This guy was her boyfriend, this guy here, this Shiro Bez. 48 anni, Shiro Bez, this one here. We're gonna do it like this. Oh, this guy was her boyfriend. Seriously, they knew each other. So that's all I'm gonna say here. This was not such a tall guy. This was a nice guy. This guy, let me think about this stuff. Oh, I know all these people, that's why. This guy was involved probably since 1995. This was always a very, very nice guy. But this was not her boyfriend. She had another boyfriend that was also older guy, but this boyfriend was tall. This guy he gained fat sometimes in like 2004, something like this. Until 2004, this guy was like a muscle guy. He was quite active, really. And then all of a sudden he started to gain weight. This here, oh yay. I say, when I demonstrate you this stuff, I see under MK Ultra, this guy and this thing here, these people make sure that I would see them. They would make sure that I would see them literally through MK Ultra eyes. No, this was not her boyfriend. But they say, what did they say here? There's some other guys that they died. So the chances are that one of those guys that died also, that was maybe the guy that that dated her. The guy that dated her was the older guy. Okay. All right, these are angels, and I definitely don't have anything against this. Whatever happening over there, I just wish everybody in this district all the best. It's difficult. It's a tourist place. It's a very tourist place. You know, there is nothing in this. Belluno. Belluno is, what can I tell you? You know, thanks God for Angela Merkel. Thanks God for the Swiss people. Thanks God for the people, that business people that came, that they brought the money with it and helped with all the stuff here, because they did security investments. They also brought the stores. I remember the Lidl here, the Lidl store. Let me see this. So you got this. No, tick. Let's go out a little bit more. This you don't. You only if you go to the store, which was Lidl. Lidl probably was open. They have already for some time, this Lidl. This Lidl was probably even open sometimes like in 2006, something like this. It goes all the way back. It's a old store, this Lidl here. And yeah, I remember Sebastian Kurz, even he was into Lidl and Hofer and stuff like this. He would be running through the city to his store, checking everything out. They did help, okay? You understand? These businesses here that you see, there should be some businesses here as you go down here like this. I would have to go and do some Google Maps and stuff like this. But there were some companies here down that they helped locals, because it was a very, very bad financial situation when it all started. I understand. So they helped a little bit with the jobs and stuff. Wherever Angela Merkel appeared, that's why this is one great chancellor. Jobs. People got jobs. People, wherever the Germans appeared, people got jobs, investments, money came. Locals gained from their visits. It was a good thing. I don't know what to say. I just wish these people here the best, and I don't even dare to think about that really something happened here in this case. If
Bezza viveva con la compagna Laura. La salma è stata trasportata nella camera mortuaria di Laurea. Stava svolgendo il...
All I have to say in respect to this video, I don't have anything else I would say in respect to this video. So forgive me for going into political issues, but for me, you know, Donald Trump stated to me, money is one thing. Now that I agree. That you get, that's one thing. But what is the money worth if you spend one on the wrong things? You know, for Donald Trump not. But for me, money was a trip to hell. Through a Trench of Mariana. Basically, a Trench of Mariana, hell is deep. I don't know how I would explain this. This is disgusting. When I start to see these things, when I remind myself, when I see the guy that observed me, watched me being beaten up, and he doubted my pain, he doubted my suffering for what he watched. This is the worst ticket that existed in the history of the United States of America. I don't give a fuck what kind of ticket it is, but there's nothing humane about this individual here. That's the only testimony I have in respect to Donald Trump. he was in Israel all the time, and he was nothing but contemplating on how to screw the Germans and others in the back. How to portray them, in other words, as a Nazis and profit from it. He did not spend time more anywhere else with his sons than in Israel, I think. I don't know what to tell you. I wish I never would have said that. I tried. I promoted State of Israel for the past few years. But when Israel, I ignored the death threats and have gestured people in area of Israel to connect with Israel because of Iran. I try to calm Palestinian people, interpret them crime as news from Iran. I don't like Iran because Iranian people are under the pressure because of this religious leader they have. He took Iran into a stone age when compared to Shah Pahlavi. And I'm not necessarily a person that would regards, any kinds of. It's more than about a communism or kingdom or capitalism. It's about a human being that's running the system, basically people that are running the system. That's basically what's more about than anything else. The general approach they have to the general public. And this is a folly. This is a lie. This individual is not life. This is a lie, and it's a death. Death of the world, not only America. That's all I want to say for this video. I can give you a time and date for this video. There you have it. That's a time and date. Which you can see it anyways. Just want to make sure.